Splice Protocol. Prologue. The emergency lights flickered in erratic pulses, painting the steel walls in streaks of red. Dr. Elias Mercer pressed his back against the cold metal, his breath coming in quick, shallow gasps. The air was thick with the sharp sting of antiseptic and something else. Something metallic and wrong. Blood. A low guttural growl rippled through the corridor, like metal dragging against bone. It was close. Too close. Trembling fingers clutched the handheld recorder. Someone had to know. They learned too much. He whispered into the device, voice raw. I should have destroyed everything. I tried. God help me, I tried. A distant clang reverberated down the hall, heavy, deliberate. Elias squeezed his eyes shut. It wasn't supposed to be like this. He was a scientist, not some horror movie victim. But the thing hunting him... No, not a thing. It had a name, a classification, an origin. The experiment. He heard it, his own voice, months old, echoing like a verdict. Genetic viability of cross-species splicing is limited only by ethical restraint. He had written those words with the detached confidence of a man who believed control was permanent. Now, he was the last one left. A soft shuffle. Closer now. Just beyond the intersection ahead. His grip on the recorder tightened. If anyone finds this, the facility, it needs to stay buried. We were wrong. We were... A shadow passed over the emergency lights. Elias's stomach clenched. Slowly, he turned his head. The hallway stretched before him, long, sterile, and empty, but for the flickering light and streaks of crimson smeared along the floor. But he knew better. It was here, waiting, watching. A whisper of movement, a breath that wasn't his. Then, silence. His pulse pounded in his throat. If he ran, it would hear him. If he stayed. The lights flickered again, and for the briefest moment, the shadows shifted. A shape crouched at the edge of the dark. Elias stared, frozen. The shadow stretched, breathing. And then, he never saw it move. A rush of air, a flash of ivory teeth. The recorder hit the ground with a hollow clatter, its red light still blinking. Still recording. Then, the silence returned. Thick, final, and absolute. Chapter 1. The Signal in the Silence. The sound of boots crunching against damp earth echoed through the silent forest, each step muffled by the soft blanket of moss below. Trees towered on all sides, stretching impossibly high into the sky. Their trunks were pale and smooth, rising like pillars into a dense, tangled canopy that swallowed the sunlight whole. What little light filtered through came in weak, flickering beams, casting fractured patterns across a forest floor laced with tangled roots and ferns. It should have felt peaceful, serene even, but the silence was wrong. You know, Eric muttered, adjusting the straps of his overstuffed backpack, this place is seriously giving me never-to-be-seen-again vibes. He tapped the screen of his GPS with a frown. And I swear, my map just glitched. Again. You always say that. Noah replied with a smirk. He walked a few steps ahead, moving with the effortless grace of someone born to the wilderness. The forest seemed to part slightly for him, as if it recognized him. Maybe if you actually learned how to read a compass, you wouldn't have to rely on that toy. I know how to read a compass, Eric said defensively, quickening his pace. I just prefer using technology, like all modern, evolved humans. Uh-huh. Tell that to the last time you led us in a perfect circle for 2 hours. That was one time. Twice. Lily chimed in from behind, her voice teasing. She adjusted her ponytail and shot him a grin. Shorter than the rest, she moved with a quiet confidence, weaving through the underbrush like it was her backyard. And I, for one, don't feel like spending the night lost in the middle of nowhere. So maybe let Noah handle the directions? Agreed, Sarah added dryly, brushing past Eric with a subtle nudge to his arm. You stick to looking smart and let us handle the survival part. Eric groaned and shoved the GPS into his jacket pocket. Fine. But when we all end up on a missing persons poster, I get to say, I told you so. Loudly. If we end up on a missing persons poster, Logan said quietly from the rear, you won't get to say anything. Silence followed. The joke hung awkwardly in the air, stealing the amusement from their voices. Then Lily rolled her eyes. Okay, dark. Can we not turn this into a horror movie? Tell that to the birds, Eric muttered, scanning the treetops. It's way too quiet out here. They all stopped walking, and for the first time, they really noticed it. No rustling leaves, no distant chirping, no buzzing insects. Just the sound of their own breathing and the distant thrum of tension. A cold tingle crawled up Eric's spine. Nature wasn't supposed to be this quiet. The forest was supposed to be alive with sound, birds, wind, insects. Anything but this complete stillness. Noah exhaled slowly through his nose. His shoulders had gone rigid. Let's keep moving. We've still got ground to cover before sunset. They pressed on, but the unease didn't fade. It followed them like a shadow. Each of them had packed thoroughly. By hiking standards, they were prepared. Rations, layers, knives, bear spray. Noah, always cautious, carried a sheathed machete strapped to his pack. Logan, more silent than ever, had a compact hunting rifle hidden under his jacket. It wasn't paranoia. It was necessity. This was northern wilderness, deep and remote. You didn't take chances this far out. Roughly 30 minutes later, Eric's GPS beeped. He froze mid-step. Wait, hold up. He fumbled to pull it out, eyes narrowing as he stared at the blinking indicator. I just picked up something. A distress beacon. Weak, but it's definitely broadcasting. Noah stepped closer, peering over Eric's shoulder. From who? There's no one else supposed to be in this area. The signal's degraded, Eric said, tapping the screen to zoom in. But the coordinates are readable. It's about 2 miles from here, just ahead. Lily crossed her arms. You're seriously suggesting we follow a random distress signal? One that could be years old. You know how this goes, right? First, we follow the spooky blip, then we stumble across a creepy shack, and then someone dies. Eric grinned. Or we help someone. That is the point of a distress signal. Noah hesitated, clearly weighing the options. 2 miles isn't far. If it's a dead signal, we turn back. If it's not, someone might need help. Sarah sighed heavily. I already regret this. They veered off the marked trail, leaving the comfort of the map behind. None of them noticed the jagged scratches carved deep into the trunks around them, or the low shape crouched beyond the tree line, silent, unmoving, watching. The forest began to change as they moved. The trees grew closer together, their trunks angled unnaturally, leaning as if bowing inward. Many of the trunks bore long, deliberate gouges. The ground grew softer, the air heavier, thicker, sticky with humidity that shouldn't have been there. Still, they kept moving. Noah took the lead, machete in hand, while Logan swept the rear, rifle low and ready. Why is it the farther we go, the more I feel like we're being watched? Lily asked. Her tone was light, but her voice was tight now. Strained. Because we probably are, Logan replied without looking back. Stop encouraging him, Sarah muttered, ducking beneath a branch. I'm just saying, statistically, if this were a movie, we'd be the group that disappears right before the title screen. Eric finished, voice low. Noah raised a hand, signaling a stop. Guys, look. They gathered around him. A narrow game trail twisted through the underbrush, but that wasn't what caught their eyes. Just off to the side, half concealed by ferns, was a pile of bones. Dozens of them, stripped clean. Some were cracked open. Others still bore bits of fur and sinew clinging to them. Lily recoiled instantly. What the hell did this? Wolves, Sarah offered, but the doubt was already in her voice. Noah shook his head. Wolves don't stack bones. Eric's throat had gone dry. He stared at the GPS again. Signal's stronger now. Whatever sent it, it's close. A tense pause followed. Then Noah nodded grimly. Let's keep going. Stay sharp. No one wanders off. They moved forward, the air growing colder with each step. The forest pressed in tighter, branches snagging at their sleeves like fingers. Their breath misted now, despite the season. Even the air felt wrong. It was sterile, metallic, empty of scent except for the creeping rot underneath. The trees here look too perfect, Lily whispered. Like someone planted them in rows. Eric frowned. She wasn't wrong. The trunks were unnaturally smooth. No broken limbs, no moss, no signs of animals, no nests, no decay, nothing wild. Then the smell hit them. First came the scent of metal, cold and sharp, then antiseptic, almost clinical. And beneath it all, a sickly, fetid odor that turned their stomachs. The trees parted ahead. A jagged roofline emerged from the undergrowth, shrouded in vines and deep shadow. Is that a building? Lily asked, her voice barely audible. It's not on the map, Eric murmured, glancing at the screen again. Noah stepped forward, brow furrowed. That's because it's not supposed to be here. They stared in silence. The structure loomed like a forgotten bunker. Its walls were massive slabs of weathered concrete, streaked with rust and time. Steel doors, thick and slightly ajar, were embedded into the facade. Moss clung to the lower walls like skin. Twisted remains of chain-link fencing lay crumpled at the threshold as if something had burst through it from the inside. Military? Logan asked, stepping closer. No markings, no power lines, no access road. This doesn't show up on any topographic maps I've ever seen, Noah replied. Eric cautiously stepped over the rusted fence. What the hell is this place? We shouldn't go in, Lily whispered. This feels wrong. Sarah looked at the other, then back at the door. If someone needed help, and this is where the signal came from, we need to at least check. We don't have to stay. Noah approached the steel doors. Cold air bled from the gap, thick, sterile, and breathless. It didn't feel like natural cold. It felt like something had drained the heat from the air entirely. He glanced back at the group. Ready? No one responded. He pushed. The door groaned open with a slow, agonizing screech, echoing into the darkness beyond. The smell hit them all at once. Antiseptic, cold metal, and something older, something ancient, something very, very wrong. Thank you so much for listening to this story. Your support means a lot and helps keep these tales coming. If you enjoyed it, please take a moment to subscribe and follow for more dark and immersive stories just like this one. New horrors await. Don't miss what's coming next.